Hi, and welcome back to the Nest Digital Engineering video blog. We're going to continue our discussion with Scott Schlesinger, a Senior Vice President here at Nest, and Scott is our Global Data and Analytics Practice Leader. Let's go back to Scott. So, I do have customers who today have data programs, and whether they're getting value or not from that, right? They have investments that they've made in data gathering, data accumulation, data analysis, and things like that. My sense is, in a lot of cases, those programs, you mentioned in one of our other pieces of this conversation, how things get siloed. I see that a lot. I think I see business units doing their own data projects where another business unit maybe either moving in a different direction or taking a different approach. I would suspect that you would probably say organizations really need a comprehensive plan for managing their data, right? That seems a no-brainer, correct?
Yeah, it seems a no-brainer, but it's a little bit more difficult, right, when it comes to actually practice, right? So I'm a firm believer in having an end-to-end data strategy that outlines where you aspirationally want to go with the organization from a data perspective, but takes it in bite-sized chunks so we can have some success along the way. Because the only way we're going to get buy-in from the rest of the enterprise is if we can showcase success and build upon that. I think that all starts, Sean, with a really well framed out business use case, right? Focused on what are the outcomes that are most relevant for the organization, not for my department, not for my specific region, but is there something from an enterprise perspective that would be of intrinsic value to others outside of my own little world? And how would I enable that, right? Because once you prove that success and you can socialize that, it's amazing how quickly that goes up the ladder and other people get interested in seeing what you've been up to, right? A lot of these projects start as skunk works, and then somebody finds out about it and it blows up to an enterprise initiative because somebody saw the value. It's a lot easier to start off with showcasing, hey, you know what, here's a use case that we've developed, and we do this all the time as an organization with our clients, helping refine and develop really good, solid, compelling business use cases for leveraging data, analytics, and AI.
It seems obvious, when we talk about it, that garbage in, garbage out applies here, right? So,
Yep.
Data quality, it would seem to me, is everything in these type of situations. I often say, when I'm working with a customer who's looking to build a configuration management database, they're better off having no information than wrong information, right? Because if they have no information,
agree.
they'll go look, right? If they have no information,
Yeah.
they'll go find out, as opposed to making a bad decision on bad data. How do organizations be successful with that? How do you either take a data implementation where quality is not where you want it and make it better, or optimally, how do we put in governance around quality at the beginning to guarantee that we have quality data to make quality decisions?
So I think you hit it in the word governance, right? And so I will say I'm a big proponent of data governance. I talk about governance with every single client that will listen, right? I had lunch with a client before the pandemic hit in Chicago, and the conversation really circled around some of the MDM challenges that they were having.
Yeah.
And we didn't argue, but I said, I don't think it's so much an MDM challenge as it's overall standardization and governance challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So we elevated the conversation because this individual felt a little bit like Sisyphus, right? I'm trying to sell MDM inside the organization, and there's nothing really exciting about an MDM initiative that's going to get people saying, let's go spend the time and the money right now to do that. If you frame the conversation differently and talk about overall governance and the value and benefit that a client can get from that, making sure that not just the work that we do today in helping you get trusted and clean data that you can make informed decisions on, but you go forward understanding that you have a scalable and sustainable solution that will make sure that in the future, the data does not get corrupt again because you've put a data governance framework in place, right? We've decided and made decisions, rules, and boxed in, if you will, who has access to that data, who can make changes, and doing all those types of things up front in any initiative. To me, it really does determine whether or not the final outcome is achievable and sustainable going forward, right? I can come in with a group of people and we can change and challenge and fix any MDM, master metadata challenge that client has. We can work on that. We can clean up the data. But if I don't help you put in some sort of governance in place, how long is it going to be before we're doing a very similar initiative, whether it's on that same data or another group of data, right? I'd rather tackle it up front, Sean, and put that as part of the overall program that we preach to our clients. Governance, governance, governance.
In my world, and when I talk to folks about configuration management, asset management is our closest parallel to that. There is, governance and all the things that you mentioned, access control, understanding who has rights to modify things, all that, and having a governance board over the top. We typically call it like a configuration management office over the top. Very, very important to long-term success. However, there are also architectural recommendations that we can make that where tooling can provide the insight that the governance needs to govern well, right? Is that the case in data as well? Is there, are there data pipeline architectures that can help with that problem?
Yeah, so absolutely. There are definitely tools in our ecosystem, in our bag of tricks, if you will, that we've leveraged for clients. And I think they're maturing. I think all the tools and technologies are really maturing. I think the more important thing that we're seeing in the space that I'll bring out is our clients are a lot more sophisticated about data than they used to be. And so what happens now is this is not a tools-driven discussion. So there are tools that can help. This is a discussion about solving complex business problems, right? And backing into the technology. And I would say most of the time, our clients have a lot of this technology in-house. In fact, Sean, you and I have seen, when we look at architectural diagrams for some of our clients, they've got spaghetti works of so many different things because they might have grown out of mergers and acquisitions and not decommissioned things. So they might have 4 or 5 different enterprise data warehouses, 6 or 7 different virtual visualization tools, right? And a lot of these are using different technologies that are out there. I always like to back into the tools, right? And say, what is it that we're trying to utilize to help our clients? But most of our clients are already using a lot of these embedded technologies, and we're coming up to speed very quickly on some of the best and newest technologies to be able to help. One area that I think we're seeing a lot of interest in is around data privacy and data compliance, right? Clients are looking for ways in which they can make sure when they architect a new solution, right, there is some sort of eye towards compliance with whether it be GDPR, CCPA, or any of the new acts or regulations that might come down the pipe, which we're going to expect sooner rather than later, right?
Even just HIPAA.
So in doing that, we have to make sure that we architect these things properly to be able to be compliant and be able to showcase compliance with these regulations on data privacy.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Scott, for your time today. This has been great, and I really think it will bring a lot of value to our listeners. And obviously, you're doing a terrific job in getting this data process and data modernization message out there. Very excited to have this time to talk with you today about this topic.
Sean, thank you so much. I look forward to talking soon, and I hope this was of value to everybody who listens.
Terrific.
Thanks so much.